What up YouTube, GT, I am the tie here, bringing you guys another narrated Wi-Fi battle today. Got a match today against Izzy28 from Battle for Charity. Obviously you guys know when I was streaming, I think I had 3 really good matches that I was able to save up. All of them were actually kind of long, but I hope you guys don't mind too much. I kind of edited the videos, tried to make it a little bit shorter. I haven't used my Trick Room team in a really long time, so I'm going to use my Trick Room team in this match against Izzy28. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into the action. He's got a Narrated, I've got a Bronzong, I have the Lumberry, so I'm not worried about the Sleep Powder. It's a question of what I want to do after he puts me to sleep. I know that I can set up my Trick Room, but I can go for the Explosion right here because I'm predicting another, I'm predicting him to go for Sleep Powder again. Obviously he got the Focus Sash, I wouldn't kill him with the Explosion, but then I get a safe switch into somebody, I prevent him from getting up entry hazards, but then I don't get up entry hazards in that scenario either because Bronzong has access to Stealth Rock, so I decided to play a little bit more defensively. I decided to go for the Gyro Ball just to break his sash, and I let him put me to sleep, and then go into my Camerupt on the first layer of Toxic Spikes. Obviously, I know I'm going to be able to scare him away. The question is what I'm going to scare him out into. I'm kind of hoping I'm going to catch a Heatran on the switch. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Earth Power. In comes the Togekiss. I'm like, well, I can hit you with the Stone Edge regardless anyway, and I'm also faster because I know the Trick Room is still up. But he goes into Narrated, which is a good use of the fodder, really, because I think he finds that Togekiss is actually pretty threatening to my team. Actually, he doesn't realize that just yet, but he will in a little bit. But he's going to go back out into Togekiss. I thought the Trick Room was still up, to be completely honest. I thought I still had one more turn. But he goes for the Air Slash. He's able to outspeed me, and he gets the flinch. So obviously, at that point, I know that he's kind of a bulky Togekiss. And at this point, I'm going to go into my Bronzong. I know that I feel like I should be able to sit in on the guy pretty easily. I don't know if he has access to Nasty Plot, but if he doesn't, there's no way he's going to be able to hurt this Bronzong, really. So I'm going to try to burn a turn of sleep. In comes a Heatran, and even though I don't think he's going to go for a fire move right off the bat, I'm going to go into my Slowking anyway. He decides to set up a Substitute, which is a good play on his part, but obviously because I have access to Trick Room, I'm not too worried about that scenario at all. But he goes for the Torment, and so obviously he's running a Torment Tran, and that really sucks in my mind. Obviously, I do have the Nasty Plot under my belt. I'm really thankful that I don't have just a pure specially defensive Slowking, and then basically we'd have to sit here for like 30 minutes or so. But thankfully, I'm going to try to speed up the process then. I know I don't have access to recover on this particular Slowking, so he's going to hit me with a Lava Plume. He's eventually going to be able to finish me off, and I'm going to set up the Trick Room right here, but I figure he's just going to start subbing down, and there's really nothing I can really do about it, but the Slowking is meant to take out Heatran. That's the reason why I threw him on the team, so obviously, that's exactly what he's going to do. If he can wear down the Heatran to the point where Heatran can no longer make a substitute and can no longer torment people, then basically that's a win-win for me. I don't care if I have to lose Slowking to get that accomplished. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I tried to speed up the battle because you guys all know what Torment Tran does because he does it so well. Not to mention he's a total troll face. But anyway, I'm going to keep on hitting him, breaking his substitute, all that shenanigans. He's going to hit me with a Lava Plume. And at this point, I believe he's predicting me to set up the Trick Room again, so he goes for the sub. I just want him to finish me off, that way I can go into someone, take a hit, and then kill off the Heatran, because Torment Tran is that annoying. But he decides to save the Heatran, which is a good play on his part. Goes out into Togekiss, and obviously at this point, I really don't have anything that wants to come in on an Air Slash besides the Bronzong. Slowking really can't do anything at that particular health anyway, unless the Trick Room is back up. Not to mention, I'm sitting at +2, so I figure he might miss the Air Slash if he tries to go for it. So I might as well see if I can set up the Trick Room and then hit him with the Surf. It does not happen that way. He does hit me with that Air Slash, so obviously free switching to my Bronzong. I know that I've already burned off a turn of sleep. I think this is going to be turn number 2 or 3. I don't remember. But he goes for the Nasty Plot. And I really thought he would have used that earlier if he actually did have that. So, I can set up the Trick Room. And now I really want to explode right now. But I really thought that he was going to predict that and go into someone else. So I go Gyro Ball. Honestly, I should have just gone Stealth Rocks right there. But I don't know why I went for the Gyro Ball. But he's going to start roosting. I've wasted a turn of my own Trick Room. So I'm going to set up the Stealth Rocks right now, and quite frankly what I should have done, set up the Stealth Rocks right here, gone for Trick Room to end my own Trick Room, and then set it back up on my own turn, because I believe that he's counting down when the Trick Room is going to end, and he's going to time it very well. So I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball. I believe he's going to go for the Roost right here, and I believe I'm just going to go for the Gyro Ball right here, just that way, because I know the Trick Room is going to end on the following turn, and he's going to time it perfectly, and he's going to set up a Nasty Plot, so he's going to get up to +4. I don't know what his other moveset is. I know he doesn't have access to Fire Blast. He told me that after the match, but I think what he's doing right here, he's fishing for the flinch right here, that way he can guarantee that a +4 Aura Spear can kill. I think that's what his thought process was, but he misses the Air Slash, which is really big for him. Obviously at this point, a +4 Togekiss threatens a lot of teams, I'm not going to lie. I feel very thankful that that he missed the Air Slash, I'm able to get off my Explosion, take down the Togekiss. I mean, I have a specially defensive Dusknoir, but he still might flinch it, even though, because that's basically my only option at that point. So that was actually a very, very threatening poke. I feel pretty fortunate because I felt like I played Bronzong a little bit too defensively, and it didn't cost me the match, to be completely honest. But in comes the Camerupt out against a Donphan. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Fire Blast right here because I don't know if Earth Power has the power behind it to kill, even with the Life Orb, but I go for the Fire Blast. I don't miss, thankfully, and it is able to one-hit KO the Donphan, so that's great. Obviously, I don't know what he wants to switch out into. I know he has a Heatran, but I have Earth Power for that as well, so I'm not too worried. But he goes out into a Lucario. Now, obviously, I'm expecting priority, but I'm going to force him to go for the priority. That way he can't get up a Swords Dance, but he double switches, and he goes back out into Scizor. Obviously, that works out great for me. I could have gone for Fire Blast right there, but I didn't want to risk the miss, and that way he gets a free SD, so I go for the Earth Power. Not enough to take out the Scizor, but obviously that Scizor is really, really close to dead, and I know he has a Lucario, a Scizor, and he has a Heatran left. And you know, I got my Machamp. I don't want to go into my Tangrowth, who I have in my back pocket, because I know once the Trick Room ends, that gives Heatran a free switch, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dynamic Punch, take out the Scizor. And obviously at this point, I believe the Trick Room is going to end, so he's going to go back out into his Heatran now. And I'm predicting him to go for the Protect right here, so I'm going to waste a Stone Edge rather than a Dynamic Punch. Works out pretty well for me in that regard. And now I'm looking at his HP, I'm like, he's going to go for a Substitute. So I'm going to break his Substitute with the Dynamic Punch. And then basically just force him to finish me off with a Lava Plume. I really don't mind losing my Machamp as long as the Heatran can no longer sub and do anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dynamic Punch. Punch the Heatran in the face, and at this point, he's pretty much out of options. I mean, he can switch out into Lucario, but it dies to one hit, to a Dynamic Punch, so he has to stay in. He has to go for the Lava Plume just to maximize the amount of damage he wants to do. Thankfully, I'm factoring in the damage he's going to do with the Lava Plume. I know that Lucario can come in and Revenge Gale with a close combat, and it really depends on what I think that he's running on his Lucario. You know, naturally, I always assume that it's a Swords Dance set, so I don't want to give him a free Swords Dance, because if he gets up to +2, he can probably kill off my Tangrowth with a close combat, factoring in Life Orb. That would be no bueno on my end, obviously, but there's really not a whole lot else he can do besides that, because I know that he has a Dusknoir, but Noir has nothing to hit the Lucario with. I don't want him to get up an SD at all. I'm going to stay in with Machamp, force him to finish me off, go for the Dynamic Punch. He does go for that close combat though, but obviously because he no longer has a +2 under his belt, I can freely go into my Tangrowth. I know that Tangrowth is good for one hit, at least, because Tangrowth is a plant monster, and he can go for the close combat. Actually not going to be able to do even half, which actually surprises me. He doesn't have the Life Orb on that guy. And I'm going to finish him off with an Earthquake, and that is going to be the game, I believe. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely feel free to click the like button if you did. And thank all of you guys for joining me when I was streaming all that stuff for Battle for Charity. Big shout out to Big Bird Big Daddy, by the way, because I know that he's running on West Coast time like I am. And we were both up till like the wee hours of the morning, so that was really, really cool. Shout out to Vexicus for giving me like second life at the very, very end, because I was on the verge of like completely passing out, and we had a ton of really, really fun matches. And shout out to Sharpeetafall for joining me at the beginning of my stream. And I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll catch you guys another time. Bye.